Sergiy, welcome to the Leanpub launch video for Process First Design, Less Art, More Engineering. I was wondering if you could take a moment to talk to all of us a little bit about yourself and uh, who you are and what you do and what your book is about and who it's for.
Well, I'm a software engineer. I'm working in industry for about 38 years. Um, as any experienced engineer, I saw a lot of things. I went through different methodologies, approaches, and finally realized when very simple thing. We are software industry in general remains in the state of art or craft at best, but it's not enough anymore, and we have to transform it into industry, just like electronics did or general engineering did at some point in the history. So we just reached the point when we have to make this transition, and I'm just trying to make it happen.
Yeah, and
In
you're
fact, sorry. In fact, I'm not even trying. I'm just exposing things which are actually happening in industry. Just nobody notices this.
yeah, your book is really good about explaining how, you kind of it sounds surprising and then it's already out there. And I love that kind of turn. And so I gather, I mean, the thesis kind of hinges on the idea of per process types. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, the idea of getting shape of the data we are storing and we are processing from the process is not new. Classic domain-driven design is built around exactly the same idea, the same consideration laying in the ground of this approach. But once they get data entities, they start thinking in entities and forgetting where those data came from. I'm just returning to the basics and keep process as the main source of truth, main source of information.
Yeah, and so you kind of build up the kind of constructs you're using through an analysis of the process that you need to build, not starting with a bunch of constructs from some software kind of model or something like that.
Uh, exactly. And one of the another key idea or consideration behind the whole process is understanding very simple thing. When we processing request, we gathering knowledge. We need
Mm.
once we collect enough knowledge about the request, and we can answer to the request, we just send answer. It doesn't matter if it's successful or failure. It's knowledge.
Mhm.
You know that this request is invalid. It's knowledge that it's invalid, and you return to user this information. Uh, and this knowledge gathering gives understanding what data do you need, what knowledge do you need to provide answer.
And are there any particular kind of industries or areas of application that you think this would be particularly useful? So if there's someone looking to kind of adopt this in their industry.
Uh, I'm at the point when I just formulated my ideas, my considerations, and observed very similar ideas and considerations in other from other authors, other people who work in this area. I have not focused on any particular area or industry, but I just formulated that this approach is applicable to basically any backend processing. Any backend behaves more or
Mm.
less in the same way. And in the book, I took two different examples. One is classic order seed booking for the event. It's widely used in literature and is popular and easy to understand and easy to explain what's happening. And another is let's say payroll processing
Oh, right.
system. Entirely different area, entirely different domain, and entirely different history of the application. Because initial application, basic example, is based. It's greenfield application. We are building everything from scratch, starting from the very simple use cases. Another example is a brownfield application, which already has history behind it.
I see.
And I'm showing that in both cases, methodology works, and it allows understanding existing application as well as building new application. But both applications are backend processing applications.
Yeah, that's a really powerful move to make in a book like this, to do it from both a kind of starting from scratch and starting from an existing kind of application. The book, one thing that I really love about the book is that as you say, it's designed to be read in one sitting. And not a lot of books are like that, but I like the idea of, like, the constraint that you place on yourself as the author to be able to provide something like that is really useful. And it's sort of like it's a one kind of thought session, which is a really interesting approach for someone who sort of takes up the book, and to set it up that way for them, that you've kind of done this for them and it's up to you to read it that way too, is really great. The book is Process First Design, Less Art, More Engineering. If you like thinking about software and how these things are done, that we often just kind of dive into and start doing. And maybe we've spent, a decade in our careers doing that, but to actually take a step back and think about what you're doing, this book is a really great meditation on that. Thank you very much, Sergiy, for taking the time to do this launch video with me today.
Thank you, too. It was pleasure to me to talk with you and about book and my ideas and considerations.
Thank you.
Thank you.